It is turning better than I ever even thought possible. It is better than I ever thought possible. Today's topic is America, the laughingstock of the world, a brain-dead AWOL Prez, and the blithering idiot Shamala. They are laughing at us, but we can fix that, and we can correct that, and let me tell you how. First and foremost, I hope and I trust you are following me on X or Twitter. Listen to me. If you have never done this before, the best, the absolute best immediate source of information is not Truth Social, but this. Not Getter, but this. Not the others, but this. You don't want necessarily propaganda one way or the other. Let me say this again. And with all due respect, and there are some wonderful folks out there, wonderful folks involving. This is my link right there. Sign up right now. This is critical because if I see something, I will put it up for you and you have to see it. I'm going to tell you about a statute that was absolutely mind-blowing. It's Lionel Media. Lionel Media on X or Twitter. Make sure you write this. Lionel Media. If I see something that's important, I will let you know. I don't put stuff up just because it's funny or it's cute. Now listen, there's some great stuff on Rumble and BitChute, this dude, and that's great. But that's propaganda. And propaganda is something that is framed in a way that augments, that fortifies, that reinforces a position, whether it's true or not. I don't put up propaganda. I want to put up the truth. That's why I'm telling you, listen to me. There are going to be times, I'm warning you, especially if you're brand new. You might say to yourself, this isn't what I want to hear. You're going to hear the truth. I'm Uncle Lenny. I'm your dad. I'm your uncle. I'm your friend. I'm the adult in the room. I don't spew Fox News BS. Now, there's a lot of good news, so you got to listen. But the first thing is you've got to trust me. And if you don't trust me, if you know that all I do is just give you, everything's great, you're not going to believe me. I serve no purpose. What's the point of that? But there's a lot. And I want to tell you something right now. And you must grasp this idea. I've been doing this a long time. And when you are somebody on TV, if you want to go, you want to be preferably a paid announcer, a paid commentator. You don't want to do it for free, or maybe you want to do it for free, and then you'll figure you'll make the back end on the metrics or whatever it is. Maybe you'll get likes or what have you. I understand that. I dig it. That's terrific. That's wonderful. The reason why I am in many respects not preferred is because you don't know what you're going to get. I'm not going to say something that necessarily is commensurate with promoting your network. When you're if you're on CNN and you're constantly saying that they're crazy, they're lying, that Shamala is that, they're not going to have you on. But it's the truth. You do know this, right? You do know this. They're not going to have you on that stupid network if you tell the truth about this criminal. Understand this, okay? There's some stuff that if you're Karl Rove, he says some few things, but he hates Trump. He hates Trump. Frank Luntz hates Trump. He's not they're out to say, they're brought back on again to say the negative stuff. You can't have somebody on who speaks the truth regarding balance. Let me explain something to you. I want you to calm down. They're trying to make you say, it's over. It's done. She's going to get a bump He's going to get a bump. Can you feel the momentum? Oh, Trump better watch out now. It's over. BS. Fill in the blanks. Nonsense. Let me start off with some variables here, which are incredible. Okay. First of all, 90 days. 90. Some say 89. I say 90 days. 90 days. Okay. That's important. Now, we've got also 166 days until Biden says goodbye. What's going to happen to him? Where is Biden? I keep saying you've got to force the Democrats' hands. The White House is saying, oh, he's okay. This is a coup. This is from, they keep talking about Soviet style, totalitarian, Red China. Look what we're doing. It's unbelievable. There are 12 days until the DNC. And they say there's going to be a bump. They keep talking about this. They keep talking about the bump, as though it's all over. Don't listen to these liars. Yeah, there's going to be a bump. So what? Look at the numbers and look at history. Michael Dukakis was absolutely, oh my God, 17 points. I mean, this guy was, whoa, with George Bush. Oh my God. It was like they saw this guy's, George Bush is a wimp and George Bush is this. And Michael Dukakis is this. And you know what they did? They didn't come out and say he's a liberal. Stop saying liberal. Stop using that term because the liberals think it's okay. You don't tell them that. Don't tell them that. It's like sometimes don't announce that your restaurant's vegetarian. They don't even know what they're eating. How about some spaghetti? Would you like some garlic bread? How about a salad? It's vegetarian. Might even be vegan. But don't call it that because they won't eat it. When you call somebody, when you use a name, when you use a word leftist, liberal, don't do it. Let me show you some examples. Okay? Listen carefully. Let's look at this one particular ad and ask, who is this for? Let's imagine this is a scene from Mad Men, okay? I'm going to bring you into the conference room, and I want you to see, who is this for exactly, okay? Let me see. Who is this for? Now watch this.
Kamala Harris just doubled down on her radical vision for America by tapping another left-wing extremist as her VP nominee.
Stop. No good. No.
Tim Walz will be a rubber stamp for Kamala's dangerously liberal agenda. Like,
no. Give me specifics. Save the liberal word.
Allowing convicted felons to walk free. Embracing anti-American Green New Deal.
Now, Green New Deal. Some people like what Green New Deal is. Some people think Green New Deal, what's wrong with that? And having these creepy pictures of them, this doesn't
policies
do it.
And giving up control of our southern border to
now that might be good.
Criminal aliens and violent drug cartels. Kamala Harris and Tim Walz, they're failed, weak, and dangerously liberal.
Get rid of that piece immediately. Get rid of it. That's a dog. That's great for the crowd scene or the couch scene on Fox News. No. No name calling. Give me the facts. Tell me what this is. Don't tell me dangerously liberal. Donald Trump is going to close the borders. Last year in this country, there were 7,000% increase in murders and violent sexual abuse. Give me a number. Don't say liberal. Listen, I loved Rush Limbaugh, okay? It's over. Ronald Reagan, it's over. This is great for some Hannity crowd. This is a different group. Who are we after? I'm saying it again to the point where I'm losing my mind. We're after somebody who's uncommitted, independent, or somebody who said, you know what, I'm not crazy about her. I don't know. So what do? You throw out she's liberal. This is stupid. You're wasting your time. You're wasting your time. Now, let's watch something here. This is very important, and I want to see what you think about this, because I want you to think like I do. Think like I do, because I want him to win. I'm not into name calling. I want to win, okay? Watch this.
Left the building. Over.
We can now project the winner of the presidential race. Donald Trump wins the presidency.
What started off as unlikely, impossible, is now reality.
I will fight for you with every breath in my body, and I will never, ever let you down.
Okay, so far, I'm not sure about the timing of this, but just let me give you an idea. Ask yourself, you're watching this. Okay? I like it so far. Why he's talking to me. I will not let you down. See what I like about this? No name calling. Tell me what you're going to do for me.
We have a president who actually fulfilled the promises he made during the campaign. Securing the border to foreign policy.
He now has a record as president that's pretty damn impressive.
Breaking news out of Palm Beach,
The FBI
Florida.
has executed an unprecedented search warrant at President Donald Trump's
against a
Mar-a-Lago
former
estate.
president has both sides of the political aisle up
Is
in
a
arms.
dangerous and unstable moment in American history.
The Justice Department has just indicted former President Donald Trump.
Now, is this good? Do you like this? Do you think this is good? Do you think this is good to remind people? Just ask yourself, with all the good that he said, why are we saying he was indicted?
7 years. They hated him. They targeted him. They hunted him.
This is the epitome of the abuse of the prosecutorial power to preempt political decisions.
I never thought anything like this could happen in America. The only crime that I have committed is to fearlessly defend our nation from those who seek to destroy it. The more
Don't like this. Don't like it.
that a broken system tells you that you're wrong, the more certain you should be that you must keep pushing ahead. They want to take away my freedom because I will never let them take away your freedom. They want to silence me because I will never let them.
No, it's about him. It's about him. It's about him. No. We got 90 days to go. Tell me what you're going to do for me. I don't want to vote for you because of what they did to you. I want to vote for you because of what you're going to do for me.
Silence you. They're not coming after me. They're coming after you. And I just happen
Dana White? No.
to be standing in their way, and I will never be moving. On November 5th, 2024, justice will be done. We will take back our country, and we will make America great again. America will always rise to every challenge and overcome every danger.
Anything about me so far? Anything so far about you and me? Nope. Anything about the citizens? Nope. Anything about what you do for my family? Nope.
Trump seems to always get stronger when challenged. These types of things, I think, give him strength.
When I'm reelected, I will totally obliterate the deep state.
The deep state. What does that mean? What do people mean? What's the deep state? Andy, what's that? Grandma, what's the deep state? You know what it is. I know what it is. Think about the person we're trying to go after. Does he know what it is? No.
As long as we have pride in our beliefs, courage in our convictions, and faith in our God, then we will not fail.
Okay, you love that, right? You loved it. I'll bet you love that. You thought that was great. You thought that was great. Terrible. Terrible. What is this about him? It's not about him. It's about me. I don't know who this guy is. You're going to say, what? No, you don't understand. All right, I'll listen. What are you going to do for me? Okay, he's a great guy. I'm supposed to vote for him because they indicted him? Because they went after him? Well, why'd they go after him? Why do you bring up the fact that he was indicted? Let's assume there's some idiot who doesn't know he was indicted. And by the way, they're going to be sentencing him or trying to September the 18th or so. This is what I don't understand. This is Fox News. This is the Hannity mentality. This is the keep America. Yay! No. Let's watch this one. This is, let me, rather than me tell you what I think, let's watch this. You tell me what you think about this.
Yeah, I launched my campaign for the President of the United States a mere 2 weeks ago.
Okay, I'm going to play this one more time, and I'm going to ask you to tell me. By the way, somebody said, well, I don't mind it. This is when I lose my mind. Oh, I liked it. I'm not asking you if you like it. It's not about you. It's not about you. It's not about you. It's not what, oh, I liked it. Pull yourself away from it. It's not about you. How do we tell people that this is the greatest president in the world? Not by appealing to you. Well, I like JD Vance and he's doing much better. You're missing the point. It's not about you. It's not what you like. It's not, well, no, absolutely not. What's wrong with this one? I'm going to play this one more time. See if you notice this incredible, this lie here. Listen to this.
So, Philadelphia, I launched my campaign for the President of the United States a mere 2 weeks ago.
Okay, let me ask you a question. Now, answer my question. How did she launch her campaign? Anybody? Anybody? How did she launch her campaign? Answer the question. Answer my question. How did she launch her campaign? How did she launch her campaign? How did she launch her campaign? Tell me. How did she launch it? How? Jack's close. She didn't. Keep going. Answer the question. How did she launch it? She was coronated. Okay, Maria's closer. Default, close enough. With a tweet from Biden. No. Through grit. No. Through grit. Phone call from the Obamas. Wait a minute. Keep going. Keep going. How did she launch her campaign? What did they do? Got Joe out of the way. This is right here. You see this right here? This is it. Quinn Smith's got it. Got Joe out of the way. They got him. They took him out. It was a coup. It was a coup. And 14 million Democrats voted for him. And they came in. They say, you're out. You're done. You're finished. Bring her in. Not one of those people behind her, those paid, not one person voted for her. Now, do you think that most Democrats know that? No. That's what you want to say. One of the things. That's not enough to vote for Trump. But these people, listen, you got to understand something. Not only do you have to remember it's not about you, but you got to remember these are the stupidest people, and most of the people aren't going to vote. Most of the people are not going to vote. They're not. Most Americans do not vote. This is when most come out of the woodwork. If you think that the people behind her yesterday, I don't know how many were paid, because you're not going to be seeing that again. You're not going to be seeing a rally like that. That was it. That was a one shot. That cost them a fortune. Do you think those people are going to vote? Don't bet on it. Trump people vote. Absolutely. This is a different group. Now let's watch this. Let me watch old JD Vance. Now he's good in this. I hope he loses the eyeliner. If he's not wearing it, it sure looks like it. Not that there's anything wrong with it, but a little strange. Listen to old JD here.
Guy who let rioters burn down Minneapolis, and then Kamala Harris was the one who bailed the rioters out of jail.
Now stop right there. You hear what I like about that? You see? This is who they are. One more time. One more time. And don't use names. Don't use names. Don't use liberal. Don't just give me the facts. Have somebody say, remember, I know you're not going to believe this because you're smart, but there are people who don't know this. I know what you're saying. You're going to say, what? They don't know this. That's why don't bring up the fact that Trump was indicted. Why are you doing that? Why would anybody bring that up? Why? Because they're idiots. Because the people who do this don't think about what is it that I'm trying to maintain. You got to think like Tony Schwartz. Think of the daisy chain. Listen to this.
Tim Walz was the guy who let rioters burn down Minneapolis, and then Kamala Harris was the one who bailed the rioters out of jail.
Now, one of the things, you got to be a little bit more careful of this, and we're going to watch this, but let me stop. You've got to start saying things like this. Listen to me. Tim Walz was the governor of Minnesota. Oh, imagine you're talking to somebody in a swing state, all right? Maybe somebody in Michigan, maybe somebody in Pennsylvania. I don't know. Who doesn't know Tim Walz from a hole in the ground? You're going to laugh. They don't know he was a governor. When the rioting took place, Trump this morning was on Fox and Friends or something and said that Tim Walz called him up begging for help. Well, he deliberately was so because he was stuck. What do I do? And they told him, don't you dare call out the National Guard. We want your state to burn. This burn, baby, burn. While his wife opened the window and could smell the barbecue of businesses and profits and property damage just wafting through the air. You've got to tell people that Tim Walz was the governor, and the people of Minnesota needed him to protect them, and he didn't. And Kamala Harris said, for all of those people, respond. Don't say Black Lives Matter. Don't say that. Don't say that, because a lot of these people are black, and they may not understand that. Remember what you're saying now. Remember the people you're talking to. Take the message and pare it down. And the people who did that, the people who were arrested for crime and murder and arson and destruction of personal property, businesses, homes, cars, those people arrested by the police, the few law enforcement who were available, Kamala Harris was responsible and asked that they be bonded out. And she wanted you to donate to bond these sick bastards out of jail.
Tim Walz was the guy who let rioters burn down Minneapolis, and then Kamala Harris was the one who bailed the rioters out of jail.
We are seeing such damage and destruction throughout Minneapolis and St. Paul.
They're going to want fundamental change. That's
look at this. Look at this. Look at this. This isn't some third. Well, maybe it is some second-rate company, some third world country. Look at this. This is a home of Humphrey and the Minnesota Vikings and Ludafisk and just regular decent people. Look what he did. He allowed it. He could have stopped this immediately. And you got to do what I just did. You got to stop, and you got to keep telling him. He could have stopped this. Look, all those people. He told this open season, come to Minnesota. Come, destroy property. It's okay. It's all right. Come. Don't say Black Lives Matter. And then Kamala Harris says, and when you're arrested, we'll let you out. We'll let you out. Unbelievable.
To want fundamental change. That's one of the exciting things in the midst of all this.
Things have gotten so...
What the hell does that mean?
Out of control. It is hard to understand.
We can see the plume of smoke drifting towards downtown Minneapolis.
We are asking the governor, we're asking Mayor Fry, what is the plan here?
On Wednesday, around 6 p.m., I called the governor and asked...
See this guy? This is the most liberal lib in the lib world there is. And even he's saying, help me, help me.
For the National Guard.
What are we going to do and how are we going to use them?
It is definitely not a safe situation for anyone.
We've seen protesters attacking police, defacing buildings, and looting from businesses.
The place is completely
Look at
trashed.
This.
People are.
Now this is, believe it or not, this is a picture. Look at this. Look at this. This is what everybody can relate to. A CVS, a Costco, a Walgreens. Everybody has a place like this in their neighborhood that they go to.
This place is completely trashed.
People are scared, and people are angry.
Yes.
And people want to hear from their governor.
The few who got caught, Kamala Harris helped bail them out of jail.
She encouraged her followers to support the Minnesota Freedom Fund, which is a group that bailed out rioters. Some of those rioters even attacked police officers.
Yep. The 3rd precinct of the Minneapolis Police Department on fire. Nearby businesses ablaze.
Airing information citywide, the 3rd precinct has been compromised.
Many of the officers who...
The precinct has been compromised.
Were there that night, sent final text messages to loved ones in case they didn't make it out alive.
I mean, this is an abject failure. I just don't think there's any other way to put it. I mean, is anything going to happen here? We're just going to let this burn.
Now that's a good one. That's a good one. I love that. That was perfect. That was perfect. That's it. Now we're getting someplace. Now you can have some fun and you can talk about things like he was a victim or a product of stolen valor, that he said he retired with a command sergeant major when it was a master sergeant. Okay, go ahead with that one. Good luck with that. And he was arrested for drunk driving in 19. Okay, that's good. Or he got married to his wife in China. Okay, all right. And you know, that sort of stuff is just a waste of time. This is the thing that's important. This is it. But let me tell you the best. Remember what I said. Remember what I said. And also, remember, follow me here, because I got these two pieces of information I want to give you. And I'm going to go to it right now. And it's really something. Let me see. One of them is, first and foremost, let me give you some good information. This is from RNC Research. Are you following? RNC Research. Very good stuff. This is it right there. So Walz signed into law removing this provision that says physical or sexual attachment to children by an adult. This is from the state human rights law, redefining sexual orientation to include what they refer to again as that pedo word, which I say, do not say that. Maybe you like that. Maybe you like it. We got to be careful. We got to be very careful with the words and the algorithms that we use. Let me give you this much, okay? Section 47, Minnesota Statutes 2022, section da-da-da. This is what it said before. Sexual orientation under the human rights statute means, this is what the old law said, having or being perceived as having an emotional, physical, or sexual attachment to another person without regard to the sex of that person, or having or being perceived as having an orientation for such attachment, or having or being perceived as having a self-image or identity not traditionally associated with one's biological maleness or femaleness. Sexual orientation. This is the key. Listen carefully. This is under the old statute. Sexual orientation does not include a physical or sexual attachment to children by an adult. Let me read this again. This was the old statute. Sexual orientation does not include a physical or sexual attachment to children by any adult. That was removed. The new statute reads, sexual orientation means to whom someone is or is perceived of as being emotionally, physically, or sexually attracted to, based on sex or gender identity. A person may be attracted to men, women, both, neither, or to people who are gender queer. This is in a statute. Gender queer is in a statute. Androgynous, or have other gender identities. And they explicitly removed the provision that would remove child attraction from those individuals. What do you think about that one? What do you think about that one? I'd stop right there. You want to talk about all this stuff? What do you think about that? And then you stop and you repeat. Let me say that again for you. This man, this Wilford Brimley, oh God, look at, isn't he great? Look at him. There's Coach Walz. Oh God, he's so terrific. He's so wonderful. With this guy, you've got to be kidding. He signed something that made it okay, that greased the skids and cleared the way for sexual activity with children. Are you out of your mind? Is this what you want? That's what you tell people. That's what you tell people. You don't waste your time with this other kind of stuff. Don't use words like Black Lives Matter. Don't do liberal. Don't say any of that stuff. This is the most. This blows my mind. And everybody understands what it's like to live where you just want to be free from little things. Just the police. He didn't cancel, or he canceled the police, the National Guard. Now, let me ask you something. Again, America the laughingstock. You can ask these people, what message do you think this sends? What message does this send? Ladies and gentlemen, what message does this send to our enemies? And you can pick anybody you want. You want China, Russia, Turkey, Hamas, Hezbollah, whatever you want. You gotta be careful with that one. This is the thing that needs to be done. Forget this other nonsense. President Trump, and here's the best one. This is the most important thing. And this is what I've been saving for you for last. And this is all I want you to think about today, because they're trying to make you freaked out and upset and scared and all that. Right now, there's a group called P Polling Numbers. P Polling Numbers, at P Polling Numbers. And they have right now the electoral map. Right now shows Trump, forget all this bump and all this, Trump at 285, Harris at 237. Right now. So let me just explain something to you. Let me explain something. And I hope you don't take it the wrong way. If you think that it's over with, you're out of your mind. Not even close. Pilgrim Media says it's biblical, cats and dogs living together, mayhem, perhaps. John Scott says, what about Trump at the island of that person? Well, I don't believe he was, but good luck with that one. By the way, I'm not trying to be, Scott, you got to be careful what words you can use. If you think that's going to mean, please, I invite you, please go ahead and do this and take your time away from having to explain to the people who he is, why that's significant, and then we'll give you a list of everybody who, quote, was there or who wasn't there. And I don't know if that's even true, but go ahead. Please, I beg you. In fact, pick up the phone and tell Shamala and what's his face that will be a good idea. That's real good. Do you think that's going to do anything? Do you think somebody's going to say, look, I understand that the economy is in the toilet. I understand there's going to be mayhem. I understand there's no law and order. I understand that we're basically going to now countenance and allow the legal sexual congress with children and adults. I recognize that we're going to have a complete where Tim Walz okayed children to be sexually mutilated. But I don't care about that. I want to focus on, at this point, a rather arcane reference. And by the by, do you know how many people in the world of broadcast news would have to explain their involvement in this as well? Good luck. But it's a good point. Please, I beg you, go down that line. Charlie Calais says, yes, Papa Echo Delta Oscar, that man needs to meet Hades. Yes. Well, we're going to see this. Let me go back to what I'm saying. This is what I hope you're following this. In fact, let me give you the link here. I'm going to give you the copy of the link, and you can go right to this as well, because I want you to follow this. I don't want you to be into feelings and bumps and, there's a momentum. I don't care about that. I want to know numbers and data and where we stand. Trump sounded this morning, happened to catch it. People happened to be on Fox and Friends. He sounded magnificent. And I've got to tell you something. If he sticks with me right now, as we're looking at the red states, remember 285. And New York, by the way, if he flips New York, oh my God, we're not done yet. Now listen to what I'm saying to you. Listen to what I'm saying. This is important. And you're gonna hear this. When you're on TV and you're like a Frank Luntz, doesn't Luntz sound like the sound something sounds when it hits toilet bowl of water? Doesn't it sound like it? Is it me? Like a kerplunk Luntz? Or is it a double Luntz? Just saying. By the way, Frank, this is a great guy who's giving me who has the worst tube anybody has ever seen. I don't know why the people say, oh, that looks good. That James Traficant look. That Millet in Argentina. Oh, that's great. Anyway, this guy is saying, well, you got to understand, there's just going to be a significant bump. Stop talking about the bump. Mitt Romney had a bump. George Herbert Walker Bush had a 96%. Was it 96 after the first Gulf War? It was the highest favorability ever. Remember, these numbers are now. They're right this moment. Kamala Harris is not going to be campaigning. Now, I don't know if you saw yesterday, she spent far too much time telling him. Now, you're going to hear all these stories. They're going to switch her out with him. I don't know where this comes from, but whatever you want to do, she's just a place sitter. They're going to bring him in. Oh, bring it on. Now, why don't you think Josh Shapiro? Josh Shapiro, say what you want. They like him in Pennsylvania. He wasn't this radical, but he's a Jew. And they don't want that. No, they're not going to go after their base. No. Don't you understand that? And how among now I don't understand, but this is how demented. I think in Jewish demographics, still we're not talking big, less than 2% of the population. I mean, it's de minimis, but still, I don't understand how this thing works. But let me go back to what I'm saying. I'm only talking. I want you to think about this person. Imagine. This is Trump, obviously, but imagine this American we're talking about. I want to scare the American, scare him into voting. I want this person to either vote for Trump, not vote Democratic, neutralize the vote. Don't vote for anybody. Just neutralize it. Because if I can if you're not going to vote for Trump, then let me just neutralize it. I don't want you to vote for whatever. They're not going. The people who were in that group, if I could somehow figure out after the fact, if I could go back and use kind of like that Chinese software and say, how many people were paid to be there? How many people were pushed by Randy Weingarten? One of the most corrupt organizations, I'm talking organized crime, gangster, is the Teachers Federation, Teachers Union. Randy Weingarten is the Joe Colombo of these people. I mean, they are hardcore. They wanted basically, she wants to deliver to her team. They don't want to work. They want to destroy. They want to indoctrinate. They want to just completely contaminate the minds of your children with filth and horrid rancidness and what they want to do, which is very important. They want to also do something interesting. They want to make sure that any kind of school choice is destroyed. They don't want charter schools. They don't want specialty schools. They want none of that stuff. They are the most corrupt. Our school systems in this country, I don't care what anybody says, are the worst. Imagine DMV for schooling. We're through. We can't compete against Europe and Asia. We can't do it. And people like Randy Weingarten and these last bastions, these Democratic strongholds, they're very popular because remember, she delivered. During COVID, during the pandemic, teachers sat out the entire year or more who didn't even go to work, just didn't show up. And there are some kids who never, ever, ever came back to school. They were just lost. So understand who we're doing here. But nobody talk about school. No. Remember, you've got an attention span. I got to scare the hell out of this person, okay? Scare the hell out of this person. I hate to be blasphemous. Two things. Number one, crime, and you can throw in borders. Let me explain to you about borders. Borders is something which is, I don't like this term. It's been used, or it has been habituated. People have been conditioned to it. They don't know what it means. Borders. What about borders? What do you mean borders? What about borders? Borders. What borders? It's not the borders. It's the fact that you've got millions of criminals pouring in, going into your town, into your schools, your resources, pushing your kids out of the way. Not only that, they're given, according to Tim Walz over here, 77,000, they said, driver's licenses, free health care, free college tuition, cash, housing, benefits. Hear that, Black America? Hear that? Hear that? You got this one over here. All of a sudden is, okay, whatever. I don't want to argue this. Oh, and one more thing. Mr. President, I know you happen to say something in passing. They're making a big deal out of the time that he was speaking to that Torquemada, that woman from ABC, about Kamala, whether she's black or this and that. Let it go. Never say liberal. Never say left. Never say BLM. I want you to tell me the facts of the case. This fellow had one duty: to protect the people of Minnesota. And all he does is, when it just starts like a fire, you move in and you stop it. And people who show up to riot, they say, no, not this time. No. When you show up, you get out of the car and you look and you think, this is not, we've got MRAPs, we've got military people. No, this is not the place to riot. Never mind. As opposed to showing up and there's cars turned over and things on fire and no police. That's feeds. That signals. Hey, folks, I want you to listen to me carefully. I don't know where you are right now, but look what's happening to our dear friends in the UK. Any UK friends here? Look at what's happening. Look, I can't believe what I can't believe what I'm seeing. I can't believe that. Ladies, as you know, many times in the past, you have probably had the chance or had the opportunity. You have had the instance of perhaps maybe trying an antibiotic or something, and you had this absolutely horrid yeast infection that came over you like a wave, like, oh my God. And you're wondering, what the hell is happening to me? What is this? And the reason is simple. As you know, there are wonderful balances of vaginal flora, right? You know what I mean? There's different things that, and there are lactobacillus and this and that. And when you have antibiotics killing off the good bacteria, and there's an imbalance, Monella, candidiasis, all this other stuff just takes over. It was there the whole time, but it was kept down. It's like your biota. It's like a gut health. You're just waiting, and it's just waiting. The moment we get the chance to proliferate, the moment we are going to take over this, you are going to be miserable. We're going to show you a forest fire of yeast infection. But once that balance, as long as that balance is there, we're kept down and we're suppressed. That's the way our world is. You've got vile criminal people who hate you, who have no connection to their property, no connection to their homes, no connection to their neighborhood, no connection to law and order. They're just waiting. Just waiting. They'll go into auto. Let me tell you something. I mentioned to you one time about auto mourn. You've heard of auto mourn. I've told you what that is. Auto mourn is whenever somebody of note dies, people will, for whatever reason, all of a sudden, out of nowhere, they show this incredible sense of, oh my God, I can't believe it. So-and-so died. Oh no. It was to show you that I feel this loss more than you do. That's auto mourn. There's something else which is interesting called auto loot. And whenever there is an evaporation or a diminution or a removal of law and order, immediately there is this overwhelming instance, this reflex of looting, pillaging, stealing, theft, like that, anywhere. I shouldn't say anywhere, but certain place. During the O.J. Simpson verdict trial or whatever, looting, until the Korean said, "You're not going to loot this." Signs in Minnesota. One woman had a sign that said, "I'm a single mother. This is my only shop. Please show mercy. Black owned. Don't. They don't care. They'll go into CVS's. They'll go into Walgreens, Sephora's, into malls, Cartier, anywhere. Big garbage bags like that out. And you'll wonder, where did they come from? It's a yeast infection. All of a sudden, zzz, where did they come from? They were always there. They were kept down by law and order. They were afraid. The moment that there's any sense of the absence of law, this is absolute 100% human nature, whatever it is. And all this man had to do. Now, let me ask you something, my friends. And this is where you really get good. And they're going to love this one. Democrats are going to love this one. And I'm going to tell you something that is not necessarily, I'll just say it. Look who it is. C.E. Camera, by the way, says, polls say hype artist dreams RFK and Williams included. I don't know what happened to Bobby Kennedy. I really don't know. I don't know what happened to him. I swear to God, I think it's that worm or whatever it is, but he is off his rocker. Bear cubs and meat and skin. I don't know what the hell he's talking about. But thank you for that. But here is the thing right now. This is the issue. Let's assume. Now, you really want to get dirty? You really want to get dirty? Do you really want to get dirty? I know Ryan does. Ryan says, is the Trump campaign on pause up until the DNC, after which they'll unleash? I don't think they're aggressive enough. I don't think they're on pause. I think I hope this kind of got their attention. I don't know. I can't tell what they're doing other than going on Fox News, but I'm with you. Trump has got to be everywhere. But let me ask this question. You ready for this? Okay. If President Trump asked the people, let's assume that Hezbollah, Hamas, the Houthis, Al-Aqsa Brigade decide to unleash a torrent of horror against us. Now listen to what I'm saying. Is Kamala Harris as president going to do anything? Or has she sided with it? Would that be considered pro-Israel for her to respond? I know what Trump would do. And that's one of the reasons why they wouldn't even try this. But ask this question. And please, don't even parse. Don't even debate the reality of this happening. All I'm telling you is think about what I'm telling you. Think about this question. Let's assume all of a sudden you find out that at some major bridge or a tunnel or the Holland Tunnel, or all of a sudden there's some Hezbollah shock troops, whatever, does something. Do you believe that Timmy and Shamala are going to do anything that might be construed as pro-Israel and not defend you? Why would anybody be afraid of a Shamalama Ding Dong administration? They don't. Even with Biden, they might, because he's still Biden, you're going to find out, was not as bad as you thought compared to this one. Let me say this again. You saw what he did. This was, and I'm telling you this was just Black Lives Matters and Antifa. This is a bunch of punks. You could take care of that. Believe me, once they see that, they start seeing what the hell. If they had the same equipment that we had here in New York, when all of a sudden they went into to completely take over these campus protests against Israel, remember that one? That was out of control. If all of a sudden they just unleashed, it would stop immediately. So what do you think he's going to do in case somebody attacks us? Lori Cook says Kellyanne has a new job to keep war going. She does. Also, the Institute for the Study of War, the Military-Industrial Complex. You know, remember that guy, what's his name? General Jack Keane or whatever his name is? He's with the Kagans and what? Victoria Nuland, she's not stepping down from anything. But don't go in it. There's too much weeds, too much. Nobody understands what all that means. Show them. Show it again. This is Minnesota. This is Minneapolis. Imagine this was your town. Imagine this is your city. Imagine this. And all this fellow had to do was pick up the phone and say, bring in the National Guard. It's funny how they work at that. Nancy Pelosi didn't call in the National Guard on January 6th when she was asked to do it. She didn't do it then. She wasn't paying attention. You've got to explain things. You've got to have somebody say, oh, I see. That's exactly what happened. These people don't fight back. Then we get into, okay, that's the first part. Crime, law and order. Then we get into the second thing called sex, gender athletes. That dude who beat up that Italian lady in the Olympics and got a medal. Leah Thomas, gender affirmation, all this stuff. This is the stuff that drives people absolutely nuts. They don't understand it. Out of all of this guy, this avuncular looking grandpa, Timmy, this guy signs a bill that makes sexual attraction and involvement with children legal. Let him clarify it. Let me say that again. Out of all his priorities, when they said, "You help us, Governor, help us," nowhere to be found. But he couldn't sign that bill fast enough to make kids, because let me tell you something. The next thing is you're going to have kids being married. And if you think I'm kidding, if you think that's an exaggeration, you don't see where this is going. Lori Cook says, how much federal money to clean up Minnesota? Who knows? They sat back there and he was told flat out. This is a guy who is just, I don't know. Don't say liberal. They just ask people, do you want 4 years of this? Go ahead. And while your kid and your child has maybe you do, oh God, if you have college debt, tuition debt for the rest of their life, not in Minnesota. Oh, it's free if you're illegal. E. Camera says 24 DNC will mimic 68 DNC. Humphreys was from Minnesota. Yep, Hubert Humphrey was from Minnesota. We'll see what happens. I hope not in terms of the riot, CE, and thank you for that. That's a different story. So this is it. So let me tell you something. Trump is nowhere even near close to being out of the way. Not even close. But this is about, how does this country look? And you got these people who say, well, she's going to get a bump. a bump. Quit saying that. Everybody says whatever they have to do to make sure they get back on the opinion beat. Brad Rung says she's a typical Obama picking an old white guy. Maybe. Josh Shapiro, though? Shapiro, say what you want. Thank you, Danny. Say what you want. Shapiro was okay. Shapiro was not bad. You got what I'm saying? How's the conditions, honey? Okay. All right. I got to check on Mrs. L. I can talk with you for a few more minutes. Let me explain something to you. This is very simple. This is very simple. You've got Trump is going to Sturgis. All right, he's going to talk to a bunch of bikers. You think that's a good idea? I mean, it couldn't hurt. Trump's going to talk to bikers. Trump's going to JD Vance. They're going to go to their usual force. How is he getting into the group of people he's trying to convince? How? That's what I want to know. I don't know. But let's go through the facts. Wait until you want to talk about a bump. Wait until these stupid people are dumb enough to try to sentence him. Now, is there any chance that Trump could go to prison? No. Edie Crowley says, I talked to Josh Shapiro one time, decent guy. Oh, he's not a bad guy. He's a whatever. They had that poor, what's her name? The mayor of Philly. She's doing a hell of a job. She's trying her best to force these people. She's not as left as you think. They had to bring her in. She's a Democrat. But she's trying to force these lazy folks in Philly to get back to work, and also trying to do Kensington. That's the best part. In Philadelphia, there's a place. Just go to YouTube. Just go to YouTube and just put in Kensington. You can't believe what you're seeing. It's zombie land. Every kind of new drug and opioid, from Trank to xylazine to fentanyl to you name it. It looks like, remember Death Wish, that incredible Death Wish background where people would be the smoke and the cars turned over, and he had that gang that had the paint, and it was just so. That's Kensington. That's what that is. And meanwhile, no Joe Biden. Nothing on his schedule. Nothing on his schedule. And the White House, his White House is basically covering for them, saying, "Oh, he's fine, he's whatever." Now, don't expect these people over there to be saying, "Where's Joe Biden?" Because I don't think that's the kind of stuff that really hits home. And Trump's got to be on every single day on a platform. Hey, Timmy, why didn't you order a National Guard? That's what Nancy Pelosi does. Did you want that to happen? Seems like you did. Lori Cuck says 1,500 businesses Walz asked federal government for $500 million. All of that. Oh, and Lori, one more thing. This sent the message to the world where this powder keg, this elevation, this apotheosis of this thug, this miscreant, this waste of flesh, this George Floyd, who I'm sorry, I think that was one of the worst optics ever. I will never feel convinced that he was killed by Officer Chauvin, especially when you have all of those drugs in his system at the same time. But that could have been quelled by this mayor, by this governor, and he did this specifically. And he wants to have electric vehicles. He is the worst. If ever there was somebody who, put it this way, you normally looked at people like, what was his name? Boudin, the DA in Los Angeles or San Francisco, whatever it was. You look at Gavin Newsom. They can't get near him. This is the worst. And he looks like this kind of tough coach, and he's the worst. And they want to bring in this guy who looks kind of like Wilford Brimley. And look at his white, he's got his white hair. He's 6 months older than she is. 6 months. And he looks 75 years old. Now, in this world where supposedly people are, this youth culture, there's also pictures of him with Ilhan Omar and the crew. Did you see where Cori Bush? Cori Bush out of there. Now, she's going to claim that was AIPAC. She's going to claim whatever she was. You know what? Whatever it is, fine. That's their thing. Ilhan Omar's got to explain to folks, why did you go along with this woman? And Raul Rodriguez says, Illiteracy plus Sitting Workers Act. Interesting. I don't know what that means, but this country, as far as we're going on, but thank you, bro. Going back to what we're saying, this is the most important. The message is very simple. We don't want 4 more years of this. We can't have it. That's it. Not liberal. We can't take 4 more years of this. It'll get worse. We don't want. There's going to be more riots. You know that right now they are waiting for another George Floyd. CE camera says Phoenix Aqueduct bike trails full of zombies. Wow. Well, look at underneath the bridges in LA, and it's these people are everywhere. Let me also tell you what they're going to do. As we speak, people like Ben Crump, this is their appointed lawyer who represents these people, who I don't know what the hell he's talking about. But they're waiting, standing by, and the next time that there is a police, I guarantee you they're ready to go. Police officer shoots an unarmed black person, chokehold, whatever. Something will happen. White guy, black guy, whatever it is. And the riot committee will say, what do you say? Sounds good? Yeah, let's move in. And we go to Greenville or Chicago, wherever it is. Anybody ever find out what happened to Juicy Smellit? Nope. Whatever happened with it? All that. I don't know. It things just kind of go away. But the next time it happens, I'm telling you, they're going to move in. They have it already mapped out. They have their shock teams. They have their choreographed groups that come in and do exactly what they have to do. It's absolutely the most incredible thing you will ever see. So the message is very simple. Do you want 4 years of this? Now, President Trump, it's up to you and JD. JD's much better than I thought, but he's not perfect, but he'll do. He's very good. He's very lucid. Lose the Maybelline and you'll be fine. That's number one. Number two, you notice how Josh was making reference to that couch being amorous with the settee or the divan or that was debunked, but nobody cares about that. This is how cheap he is. President Trump, I know that your nature, you come from an era of shock jocks and Stern, and it's what got you here in the first place. Tone down the sophomoric bit just for a moment. Lori says, Juicy and Goofy Cam are related somehow? Could very well be. I don't know. Who knows with her provenance? I don't even know what she is, who she's related to. I have no clue. But I'll let you figure that out because you're much better at this than I am. But let me explain this. President Trump, I know this, you don't want to hear this, but I'm going to say this. Try your best right now. You're going to hear people right now say, okay, let me listen. Let me listen to what you have to say. Lay off the name calling. Lay off of the childish stuff. Do your best. John Scott says, please stop MAGA craziness. Get back to Republicans' values. Well, tell me what they are, and you let me know what they are. Tell me what Republicans' values are. And I think if you have right now, I don't know what, and this is a very good point. I don't necessarily know, some would argue, if you read, for example, National Review and the typical paleo conservative, remember, Republican versus conservative, different thing. But we need Trump right now as chemotherapy to stop this cancer. So Bottom line is simply this. Do not, repeat, do not think that all is over. Do not listen to this nonsense where they're saying, oh, everything is just, it's no, not even close. Well, she's going to have a bump. Great, have a bump. What about the overalls? What about the Electoral College? Look at this. Where are these bumps going to happen? Are they going to last? And they're going to keep her hidden away from the crowds, teleprompter connected, and the like. Raul says, HS High School Dropouts and Sex Workers Act is damnation. Indeed. I think, remember, sex workers, I think, well, that's not going away. But for purposes of this election, we'll talk about that later. Crime and the Sex Act. That's it. Crime and companies alike entails a lot. And the sex workers as well. Okay? Follow Mrs. L on Lynn's Warriors. What is happening right now, you cannot believe. Nobody is mentioning children. Nobody is mentioning children. Nobody. I don't know why. I don't know what the story is. I don't know what the reason for it is. I don't know maybe it just doesn't poll right. I have no clue. But follow her, Lynn's Warriors, on YouTube. Go and sign up. Be a member. Memberships are available. She's going to be live streaming. Oh, that thing's going to be the biggest hit you've ever seen. That's going to make, get ready. And make sure, of course, you stay subscribed to Lionel Nation, because sometimes people are unsubscribing. Don't forget also Lionel Legal, which is our sister station, our sister station or channel, as it were. So, Raul, thank you. John Scott, always a pleasure, sir. Lori Cook, we love you. CE Camera. Raul Rodriguez, thank you, brother Raul. Danny Saunders. Edie Crowley, we love her. Brad Rung, everyone. Mr. Camera, in camera. Ryan, our good pal. Charlie Calais, we love you. And Pilgrim Media. We have so much to talk about. I'll be providing more videos during the day and the like. So in the meantime, maintain your focus. Do not lose your zeal. Do not lose your excitement. This isn't even close to being over. The work has really begun now. And President Trump, I know you're going to do the right thing. Listen to the people who know what they're doing. And by the way, tell Lara Trump to start explaining to us what she's doing. I know she likes to go on TV, made up, look at me, I'm in the gym. Blah, blah, blah. What are you doing in terms of having poll watchers, poll monitors, lawyers, how you have critical precincts being monitored and the like? Let us know. All right, dear friends, we will see you later. Have a great and a glorious day. Don't ever change. I mean that sincerely. Remember these final words. The monkey's dead. The show's over. Sue ya.